What up, everybody? This is your boy Dedrian Colon from House of Rasslin. This is my review for the June 17th episode of AEW Rampage. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Follow House of Rasslin on all social media platforms. That is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Follow me, Dedrian180, on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. AEW Rampage, I will say this. If you were looking for something that was an alternative from WWE and all the drama, everybody's been talking about WWE and the whole Vince McMahon thing, which is it's going to be expected. But if you wanted an escape from all this, like, man, you know what? All right, I already had enough of talking about WWE and Vince McMahon. Let me watch something else. This was it. This was a really good Dynamite. I wouldn't say it was great, only because just there wasn't that many stakes except for the TBS Championship match between Jade Cargill and Willow Nightingale. But other than that, it was a fun wrestling program, which that's how most wrestling programs should be. Fun. Granted, to each its own. Some may like it, some may not like it, but hey, it's entertainment. It's escape. It's what it's supposed to do. It started off with Jon Moxley, Dante Martin. I like this match more so because you had the contrast in styles with Moxley and Dante Martin. Of course, you got Martin, who is like, his style is a combination of like the WCW Cruiserweight, the TNA Ultimate X, and kind of like that Young Bucks style and everything. Young Bucks Darby Allin style. But this was a fun match to start off with. It was ironic because if you were watching SmackDown and then switched to Rampage, you went from a Roman Reigns match to a Jon Moxley match, which is like, the Shield is always running things in the wrestling industry. I see that. I peeped that. It's just ironic. Coincidence, maybe. But no, this was a really fun match. The avalanche spike that Dante did off the top rope to Jon Moxley, that was really cool. Moxley with his clotheslines, man, Jon Moxley is a modern day Terry Funk. And I know back in the day, more so in the mid 80s, mid to late, actually pretty much all the 80s, not a lot of people really got into Terry Funk. Some people were like, he's just wild, this. But later on in his career, people really got into him. He became a legend. And honestly, there is a strong comparison from Terry Funk to Jon Moxley. Eventually, Jon Moxley got the body capture in. Dante Martin tapped out. 1, 2, 3. Moxley wins, which was expected. But this was a pretty good showing from Dante Martin. Honestly, if I were AEW, I would put Dante Martin into that TNT title hunt. Granted, you might have Miro and stuff like that, but I would put him in that TNT title hunt with Scorpio Sky, because it's just clearly evident he should be there with Wardlow and stuff like that. But this was a decent match, especially with Moxley, with everything happening with Dynamite next week, with him and Tanahashi teaming against was it Jericho and I believe Desperado and Lance Archer. I don't know, one of the two. But they are fighting next week. And then, of course, Forbidden Door, which I can't wait to fight or go to. Then we get a backstage segment with Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. Now, this is interesting because if you remember on Dynamite with the, was it 2 weeks ago in the Battle Royal, Swerve Strickland eliminated Keith Lee, and then afterwards he posted dead weight. So Keith Lee's like, what's going to stop me from beating your ass? He used unequivocally, something like that, to start off the promo. And Swerve's like, hey, man, this was individual singles competition, every man for himself. You probably would have done the same thing to me if I dropped you. And then Keith Lee is, trying to walk away. Swerve's like, no. Look, man, listen. And we get Ricky Starks and Hobbs interrupting the promo. And Ricky Starks like, you guys still can't beat us, and walked away. So apparently we're going to get a Ricky Starks, Powerhouse Hobbs versus Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee match. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm kind of anticipating that we might get Swerve Strickland maybe cementing his heel turn on Keith Lee. I don't know. It could go that way. With AEW, you don't know what's going to happen, which in this case is a kind of a good thing. In other cases, like you might want to know what's going on. So I'm looking forward to that. Then we get a promo with the House of Black. Pac, actually Penta was saying that Malachi Black was a clown impersonating a bad guy. And this was basically promoting their match next week on Dynamite. It's going to be Penta and Malachi Black. Winner advances in the All-Atlantic Championship match at Forbidden Door. That should be a really good match. Penta, Malachi Black. That should be a really good one. I like this because, one, it gives them a chance to shine. And also, this is huge for, if you look at a lot of the guys that are going on, you got Pac, you got Miro. It could be Penta. More than likely, it's probably going to be Malachi Black. Maybe this is a shout out to, these guys that were in NXT and somewhat in WWE. They wanted to wrestle in New Japan, so it's kind of like their way of like, hey, okay, we got this event, come and wrestle. It's like, that's cool. I like it. I get why some fans may not like it, but I like it because, the magnitude, the significance, and hell, the United Center sold out already, and that's 20,000 seats. So that place is going to be rocking, especially for that match. With if you've ever been to a New Japan crowd, like it's a very rowdy crowd, and on top of it's in Chicago with even more rowdy wrestling fans. It's going to be a dope event. Then we get Max Caster with the Gun Club versus Bear Country and Leon Ruffin. Yes, Leon Ruff from NXT. He was in this match with Bear Country. This was pretty much a squash match. Max Caster in his rap, he did refer to NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, in his rap, which is pretty funny. He wound up doing the mic drop, elbow drop on Leon Ruffin. 1, 2, 3. They win. That was basically the match. I really, really hope. Now I see why a lot of fans of AEW feel somewhat frustrated with AEW, because there's so much talent that there isn't a follow through with the talent, that it's like, oh man, they should put more emphasis on here and there. I get the frustration. Me being an AEW fan, I'm like that too. It's like, come on, man, you should use these guys, like utilize these guys more. And in the case of Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, I think I've mentioned this before. They actually remind me of a modern day New Age Outlaws. Maybe that's one of the reasons why Billy Gunn's with the Acclaimed and of course the Gun Club, his sons. Max Caster, like Anthony Bowens, they do have that New Age Outlaws vibe. If they can just take their characters to another level, that'd be pretty cool, because they got the mic skills. They can. Anthony Bowens can go. Max Caster, you gotta go in the ring. But man, if they could, man, AEW's got some money with those guys, man. They just gotta utilize them as other talent too. Then we get the TBS match with Willow Nightingale and Jade Cargill. Stokely Hathaway is on commentary. Oh, man, I love that dude. I am so glad he is in AEW. Again, this is another guy. You just brought him in. Like, there's a lot of talent that they can utilize, and they have the TV time to utilize these guys. I mentioned this before. AEW should reformat Dark Elevation. The feuds that you probably aren't going to see on Rampage and Dynamite for, maybe a week or two, like put it on Elevation where there is a continuity, like, oh man, I remember this feud was here and oh, this feud's here. Like, That would be dope if they did that. But this match, Willow Nightingale, Jade Cargill, this was a pretty cool match. There were some spots that I can, for me, it was just like, there was a spot where Jade and Willow, like, she threw her out, and like it was just like kind of like slow, like it wasn't like boom, like instant, like impact. It was like it was like like you gotta tighten that up. It didn't look, as a viewer, it didn't look like, oh man, she really hit her. It looked like all right, but no, this match was pretty cool. An impressive spot was Jade Cargill squatting Willow. She had her in like the Samoan drop pose and just like started squatting her, and it was like, yo, I wish the commentary team would have had more inflection and emphasis on it, because that's impressive. What she was doing, like to squat a human being. I don't care what weight, size, or what have you, especially catching them off of a turnbuckle Irish rip and picking them up, and then like that's impressive, man. But man, there was a point where Willow did a counter to the pounce. Then Kiera Hogan attacked Willow on the outside. That was pretty cool. Willow threw Jade into the barricade. Like, this was one of the few matches where someone really got some decent offense, like some real powerful offense on Jade Cargill. But of course, Jade Cargill prevailed. There was a spot where Willow performed a cannonball senton in the corner on the bottom turnbuckle. Man, that looked, boy. Glad I didn't receive that, because that looked nasty. Then, of course, Jade Cargill did the double underhook slam. 1, 2, 3, like I said. She won. They're celebrating. And as this happened, Stokely Hathaway says, you know what? We're going to take that title, that TBS title, and go to the BET Awards, which I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. I hope they do that, because that is more exposure for them. Post-match, you have Kiera Hogan attacking her. Then you had Athena. Her music hits. They're looking at the stage. Athena comes through the crowd. She's on the top turnbuckle. She does the, was it the O-face on her or what have you? Then Jade Cargill pump kicks her in the face. And then you have Chris Statlander running down the ramp. And she like smacks Stokely upside the head and then runs in the ring, and they run away and everything. Me personally, I like what they're doing with Jade Cargill and the baddies. I wish they were adding. It's with the women's division. If you take a step back, and I know I'm one of the biggest critics of the AEW's women's division, because I see like other people so much potential in the division, and it's like, can you utilize it more? Can you have more women's matches? Can you have the women's matches be, instead of the fifth or sixth match, or the fourth or fifth match on Dynamite, can you have it be like the first, second, or third match on Dynamite, and just have it earlier, like put more emphasis and continuity, and integrate it into the major storylines that you have on Dynamite and Rampage and even Elevation, like just integrate it more. But taking a step back and looking at the women's division, compared to how it was a year before, it's a freaking 180. And you could tell that they're trying, but I think they need a few more people behind the scenes with the women's division to actually get it boom. Because I mean, everyone's been saying it. I've said it. If AEW can get their women's division rocking and rolling, where it's like just as on par as their men's division, that's some good stuff for AEW. Like, man, this could be some real good stuff. And of course, there was word that Thunder Rosa may be going to Japan as the AEW champion and wrestling a few Joshi wrestlers, which, yo, that's dope. That is dope. I wish they had more Forbidden Door with the Impact Wrestling Knockouts division. Wish they had that, but hey, it is what it is. I just think AEW just needs a few more people who know women's wrestling and the women and had experience in a women's division to really shape it. Hell, if I were them, I would reach out to freaking Trish Stratus. I mean, you need a name. She's been in, like, she was the prototype of not knowing how to wrestling and then being one of the great women's wrestlers and putting on classic matches. And just having that, I mean, you bring her on, it may be a hefty paycheck, but I would, look into that. Or, man, I'm trying to think of who else in the last 10 years or so. Hell, even, I mean, I don't think WWE's doing anything with Lita, which they had plans and they scrapped it, but I think she has that legend still. But there's a lot of potential in the AEW women's division. And hey, it hasn't been confirmed yet. There have been multiple sources reporting it, but hey, there's a big women's wrestling free agent possibly out there. So if I'm AEW, you might want to start putting this thing together and getting this women's division rocking and rolling. Honestly, if I was AEW, I would have a freaking all women's Rampage. Like, hey, ladies' night. That's what they should do. Because Rampage is on Friday nights, I would actually have one men's match and have, because they do like 3 or 4 matches on Rampage, I would just have nothing but women's matches on that show. It would make sense. It would give them more, like, it would be dope. But that's just me. Then we have a promo with Jay Lethal, Samoa Joe. They're basically hyping up, their feud, which I wish it ends already and move on to something else. The funny part about this promo is Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt being like hugged by Satnam Singh, and Sanjay Dutt's like, yeah, he's taunting. He's like, yeah, loosen up, man. That hurts. That was pretty funny. Then they run down the Forbidden Door card. That Forbidden Door card looks amazing. You're going to get Minoru Suzuki, Jericho, and Sammy Guevara versus Eddie Kingston, Shota Umino, and Wheeler Yuta, I think? Yeah. That, of course, Moxley and Tanahashi. We're getting FTR, Jeff Cobb, and I forgot who his other partner is. And what's the other tag team? Man, they mentioned it so quickly, but that card, that Forbidden Door card looks pretty fun. And I am glad that I am going because it's going to be so damn fun. And just the anticipation of what the hell is going to happen with Bullet Club. And like, there's an anticipation that something big is going to happen out of Forbidden Door. That's going to be something like, yo, this is pretty crazy. Then we go to the Darby Allin Bobby Fish match. This was pretty cool. It was good to see Darby Allin back. His matches are always fun. Bit scary because it's like, man, this dude, I like what Jericho put in this match when he did his diving plancha through the middle rope onto Bobby Fish. Like, that was such a beautiful dive through the ropes. And Jericho and Taz are like, many people in this wrestling industry, do that move, but he is the best at doing that move because he does it with such force where it's just like, no one else should do it. But man, there was a cool spot where Bobby Fish was trying to maybe do like a power slam or shoulder breaker, and Darby reversed it into a Scorpion Death Drop, which was really cool. I recommend you guys see it. This match was just Darby Allin with his, fast risk-taking, quick moves, and then you had Bobby Fish with his veteran technical skills. Like, this was a good balance and counter. AEW does a really good job of having a good contrast in styles where you have a pretty solid match. May not be perfect, but you have that basic like contrast. Like, this is gonna be interesting. Like, is this guy quicker than this guy's, technical skills, or is this guy's technical skills going to outmaneuver his speed? So that I like that contrast. I wish the commentary would emphasize that more. And that's something that AEW is lacking, that I'm noticing, that they really should emphasize those little things. That's the thing. AEW commentary, they really don't emphasize the little things. They emphasize the major things, but if they emphasize the little things, which fill in the gaps of like, man, why is that? Like a lot of questions you have, like, okay, that makes sense. But man, this was a fun match. The coffin drop that Darby Allin did from the top turnbuckle onto Bobby Fish, man, that was perfect. Like, damn, this dude's good. Then there was a point where Bobby Fish did the Avalanche Falcon Driver on Darby Allin, then turned it into an ankle lock, which was like crazy. He reversed it. Then there was a Darby Allin turned that into the last upper pin. 1, 2, 3. Darby Allin wins. Then Bobby Fish, he starts beating up Darby Allin. Kyle O'Reilly, I was just brain locking right now. Kyle O'Reilly, he comes down to the ring and he's taking his time. It's like, bro, you are taking a long time. Lights go out, lights come back on. Sting is standing in between Kyle O'Reilly and the ring. Kyle O'Reilly attempts to hit Sting with the chair that he was carrying. Sting low blows him with the bat, then kicks the bat, and he's selling the low blow. Sting gets in the ring, or actually he hands the chair to Darby Allin. Darby Allin puts the chair on Bobby Fish's leg, stomps on it. They leave. Sting gets in the ring. He's celebrating with Darby. Pretty cool moment. It was good to see Sting back. He kind of looks rested because it looked like he was all that time. He was just like, all right, cool. It was really cool to see him. And that was the end of AEW Rampage with a lot of Sting chants, which was really cool to see. This was a fun show. Like I said, if you were looking for a show that, all of us have been, aware and just talking about the whole Vince McMahon, WWE, that whole situation. If you just wanted something that was an alternative from all that in WWE, this was the perfect show. Just to enjoy some wrestling. Just enjoy some wrestling and just, hey, let me watch something that isn't all this drama and stuff like that. Sometimes drama is very interesting and intriguing, but after a while, just the whole Vince McMahon is just like, all right, this is too much. Like, let me just exhale for a minute. But man, this was a really good Rampage. Wasn't what we're used to in some Rampages where it's just like stacked. But no, this was pretty cool. You could tell that they didn't go all out because no pun intended. Because let's face it, next week is the go home shows for Forbidden Door, so you could tell like, okay, they're kind of holding back, because honestly, I do have a feeling that Forbidden Door is going to over deliver, and there is something major that's going to come out of Forbidden Door. Just a random prediction. It would be funny if Jon Moxley joins Bullet Club and kicks Jay White out of the Bullet Club. That would be interesting and insane, because let's face it, Jon Moxley goes everywhere. Not saying Jay White doesn't, but Jon Moxley goes anywhere. So I don't know if that's going to happen. Of course, with the Blackpool Combat Club, I don't think that's going to happen, but it would be insane if that did happen. But I do anticipate someone joining Bullet Club or something major happening with Bullet Club, but we'll see. But man, this was a fun show. Please check out that Willow Nightingale Jade Cargill match. That was a pretty solid match. Good to see Willow Nightingale. She's awesome. Maybe she's signed with the ROH side because she had a Titantron music and everything. So maybe we'll see. But no, this was a fun Rampage. Like I said, man, this is a good alternative to whatever you have been exposed to and been talking about with the WWE. This is a good alternative, which I'm glad AEW exists, because if it didn't, it would have been a talk. All the WWE talking is just like, all right, let me take a break. And this was a good take a break, exhale, just enjoy just have fun. And this what Rampage was. It was just fun. But that is my review for AEW Rampage. Like, share, comment, subscribe, follow House of Wrestling on all social media platforms. And like I always say, stop fighting over wrestling, man. Like, there's so much crazy stuff going on in the world, and there's so much crazy stuff happening in professional wrestling. There might be some crazy news breaking tomorrow or something like that. But just enjoy wrestling. Have fun. Pro wrestling's an escape from just all the crazy stuff that goes on in the world. And this, for the at least hour, 2 hours, let's just enjoy professional wrestling for what it is. All right. With that, I'm out.